How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to All East TV. It's your big match preview for the League Cup. It's Wolves versus Leeds United tomorrow night. And of course, as always, we are here with your big match preview. Again, it's going to be quite a short one, this, in advance, guys. I'll warn you. It's going to be quite a short one, this, about half an hour or so. It is the Cup. There's not a lot to get into. But Phil, first things first. We go into this game with a little bit of momentum. Is it a chance to keep building that momentum, if anything?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Obviously, we had a difficult run, but we've got back-to-back wins. And, you know, for the last few years, the Cup hasn't been very important. But obviously, we have a different manager now who might take it a little bit more seriously. And, you know, as Mike, who has just obviously been in the comments there, always says, I'd love a good cup run. And, you know, I probably fancy us for one. I'll say this now and then we'll go and lose, but I fancy us for more of a cup run under Jesse Marsh than I did under Bielsa. I think he'll take it seriously. We've got a lot of players that are on the periphery of the first team picture in terms of starting that are looking to break in at the moment. You know, the likes of Somerville, Willie Nonto, Joffrey needs to get some minutes. Sam Greenwood showed he deserves some more minutes the other day. So it's a really good opportunity to get minutes for players that need more minutes, and realistically getting through to the next round as well is in their interest because it means more minutes for them. So yeah, I think it could be an exciting game to watch, but you know, it's one of them where we don't really need to worry too much which way it goes. If we lose, we lose, but you know, a cup run would be great.
It is what it is, mate. It is what it is. I think there's positives to both, really. I'd much rather us get a cup run going. If we are going to finish mid-table, I think we've got to go for it in the cups. And I think at this moment in time, where we are on the table, relatively comfortable. There's not much worry about fatigue because there's literally a World Cup going around the corner. I see no reason not to. I'm not saying we should go full strength, but I think 7 or 8 of our strongest players, I think, should play in this game personally, and then maybe rest people like Aronson, who's literally played every minute of every single game. But we'll see. But guys, just to remind you, this video, once again, is sponsored by the fantastic football prizes. Some fantastic prizes on offer at this moment in time. Look at this one straight away. Crescencio Somerville signed 2022-2023 Leeds United away shirt. Competition ends this coming Thursday. You have got an early bird price at this moment in time of £2.36 at this time of filming. So if you are watching this live, do check that out, guys. You can see the link here, but I will leave it in the description as well for you. So yeah, it's a very good one. This 236 chance to win a Crescencio Somerville signed Leeds United 2022-2023 shirt. 99 tickets available. Check it out, guys. Check it out. And yeah, we'll leave the link in the description down below as well. Phil, what would you? Let's go through the team selection first and foremost. I think that's probably the most debatable thing at this moment in time. Do you expect both teams to go relatively strong? Let's have a predicted lineup. I know we normally leave that towards the end, but let's get straight to a predicted lineup. And people in the comments as well, give us yours too.
Mate, I don't expect both teams to go strong. In all honesty, I'd expect both teams to rest a few players. Wolves probably more than us. They're in a bit of danger. They're in shocking form this season, and I tipped them before the start of the season to go down. I think they're a terrible team. They've been on the wane for a couple of years since the first year, I'd say, that Nuno had them in the Prem, and then the style's got more and more shit to watch. For them, I'd be doing what Bielsa did with us, to be honest. I'd bottle out of this competition and save your legs for the league because they don't look good. In terms of us, I'd like to see, like you said, some of the players that have played every minute this season, or nearly every minute, get a bit of a rest. But we saw in the first round that Marsh didn't tinker too much, to be honest. I don't think he tinkered more probably in those couple of league games after Arsenal. So yeah, I'll be surprised if he makes wholesale changes or quite as many as I'd like to see. I think Illan Meslier probably starts in goal. I think most people wouldn't mind seeing him get a rest, give Clarkson a go. But yeah, I think Meslier will stay in net. Back four, I reckon, will be strong but rotated. I can imagine Firpo getting a bit of a chance at left back with Pascal getting a rest. Cooper, we've heard the thing before about can he play 2 or 3 games in a week? Maybe he gets a bit of a rest as well, and Llorente and Cox start in the middle. Ayling over Christensen maybe to get a rest at right back with Ayling getting some minutes. I don't necessarily think Tyler Adams needs a rest, but I think Mark Rocker probably does. So Sam Greenwood for me would come in for Rocker. I don't mind the idea of Darko Gyabi getting minutes as well. Good suggestion there by Danny. And then obviously it depends if he's going to stick with a 4-2-3-1 or go 4-2-2-2. It's hard to say, but the momentum's been with the 4-2-3-1, so it wouldn't surprise me. Somerville absolutely nailed on to start. I'd be really surprised if Somerville doesn't get a full 90. And then Willie Nonto, I'd like to see start. Wouldn't surprise me if he did. And then some iteration of getting Joffrey in the team has to be done. And then obviously, as people have said there, if Bamford is fit and available, which you'd struggle to put your house on, but if Bamford is available and able to get minutes, maybe give him some minutes, I'm not sure. But yeah, Harrison being considered a fringe player in that, Chris, that's a wild one. But yeah, it probably isn't far off the truth at the minute, and maybe he deserves minutes. But yeah, what do you think, Oscar? Who would you put 1 to 11?
I actually agree. At this moment in time, Harrison's looking like his position's under threat. There's no doubt about it. Obviously, not a lot's been made of the fact that him and Firpo didn't celebrate the winning goal. I mean, I won't get too much into that, but yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. I'll say that much. Harrison's under pressure. I think Harrison should start because Harrison's fighting for his place at this moment in time. Because he came off after 45, as we all know, on Saturday. He isn't the main left winger anymore because of Sinisterra. I think Somerville might have possibly overtaken him on that left wing spot as well. Certainly up for debate, much more than what it was at the start of the season. And on the right-hand side, I don't think that's Harrison's best side at all. I think he's far better off the left than he is off the right. So he's in a tricky situation at this moment in time, Harrison. I mean, it's one of those, do you double down and keep Harrison on the right-hand side and try and build his form and confidence in that position? Or do you put him back on that left-hand side and show what he can do, build his confidence that way? Or do you even try something a little bit completely mad, well, not mad, but different in terms of Harrison maybe up front or in maybe a 4-2-2-2 system and try something a little bit different? Because I think as much as anything, it's a chance for us to test things out a little bit as well. I'm not saying it's like a friendly, but Wolves, I think, will be testing things out a little bit. And I think we will too, because it's still relatively... I know it's November, but you've got to remember this is only the third round. It seems a bit weird because there's been such a gap. But normally when you get to this time of the season, you're still in the cup, you're thinking, oh, actually, we're not far off the semi-final, but still quite a way off that. So I think as much as anything, it's about building confidence in certain players. I think the likes of Ayling, definitely a case of doing that. Darko Gyabi, I'd really like to see start. And I'd also like to see one of Somerville or Willie Gnonto start. Probably Gnonto, to be honest. I'd like to see start on that right-hand side. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the game because there's not that much pressure on it. It's a little bit, it's a chance to see certain players that we don't see a lot of this season. The 10 position is going to be really interesting for me. Personally, I'd go for Joffrey all day long. I don't know if Joffrey's fit or not for this game. But personally, I'd go Joffrey all day long in that 10 role, see what he can do. I think he made a super impact on the Fulham game when he came on in that position. Unfortunately, the game went pretty wrong for us to start off with. But yeah, just a quick shout out to our man Mike as well. Other Mike, by the way. Mike is waiting in the background, but I'll let other Mike in a second. But Michael, from Leeds United Ultras, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Absolute legend of a man. It is the Michael 20, by the way. Hopefully, Willie to score tomorrow. That would be absolutely fantastic to see Gnonto score. Come on, Leeds. And let's let our man Mike at All Leeds TV in, our TikTok superstar. How are you, mate?
The humble man himself is back.
How are we doing? How are we, mate? You okay? Yeah. What do you think going into this game?
I mean, no surprise, I want a cup run. I will be putting a poll out tomorrow about this. It's kind of question then. Would you want 17th, win a cup, mid-table, cup run, or top half?
You think we can win a cup?
Well,
We'll win a cup all day long. I'm taking a trophy, mate. I'm taking a trophy at Wembley. I don't care what the other alternative is.
Yeah.
like,
We're not
obviously,
going to win it. Let's be realistic.
I don't think we'll win it.
That's outrageous.
No, I don't think we'll win it, but I certainly want to see us at least get to the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Like, give me a quarterfinal run and mid-table, I'll be happy with.
Yeah.
I think
I agree with that.
Like with the squad, rotation-wise, we've got a big enough squad now with the youth to do it.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with that. I mean, do you see quite a weakened side being put out by Leeds tomorrow, despite what you're saying? I mean, could you see Jesse maybe not fully going for it in terms of resting a couple of players for Tottenham? I mean, me and Phil personally can't really, but it's just debatable which players drop out.
Rotation-wise, I could see Rodrigo, Jack Harrison, Aronson maybe being dropped. Either Rocker or Adams, maybe even both being dropped and play Click and Giarbi could be an option. I think the defence-wise, Ailing right back, Firpo left back, and then it just depends on your centre-backs, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Phil's best mate, Llorente, I think will start tomorrow. I do think. Not that I'm saying that's what I was going with, but I'm just saying that's what I think will happen. But yeah, I think there will be rotation throughout the squad tomorrow. Let's talk a little bit about the game itself. I mean, there's normally last-minute drama. It's normally quite a tight, tense game between the two sides. I mean, the last couple, it's been quite open because neither side can defend particularly well. It's probably the main factor in that. But I can see quite a similar game to the first game of the season, to be honest, where Wolves will have spells of possession because they've still got really good technical midfielders in that squad, but they haven't got a lot in the final third. Some might say that's similar to us. Some might say. But yeah, I can see another quite tense game. I don't think there'll be much more than the goal either way, to be totally honest with you. I mean, Phil, are you expecting that kind of game tomorrow?
Mate, every game against Wolves is always the same. It's always shit to watch. It's always attritional.
Hey, hang on a second. That Molyneux last season and the first game of this season were quite good, I thought.
The results were good, but they're shit games to watch. Wolves make it shit to watch. They're an attritional side. They will time waste. They will go down at every opportunity. They will, even though it's at their ground, mate, they do what everyone does at Ellen Road on their own turf, and it's depressing to watch. I know obviously it's different managers, but you know, the back end of Nuno, they were like that. The whole way through Bruno Laga's time, they were like that, and they don't really seem any different this season. I think they're in big trouble. Like you said, they've got a couple of players in midfield that are good, but you know, Jean Martinez coming towards the end of his career. Ruben Neves at some point will go. He can't stay there forever, and he's seeming like he's far too good for them now. And the only other things they've really got is certain players that, as far as I'm aware, are injured. Pedro Neto not available. He's massive threat and massive miss for them. And you know, going forward, they've ended up having to bring in like a borderline retirement age Diogo Costa because everybody else is broken. Their striker situation is a little bit similar to ours, and although I think we probably have better in terms of having Rodrigo on 6 goals, they don't have many goal scorers. The goal scorers they do have are all broken, and they've had to bring in someone old to try and fill the void.
I think Rodrigo's almost scored more goals on his own than the whole Wolves team put together.
Yeah, it's not far.
It must be quite tight. I mean, Phil, you are the stats man. Is Rodrigo on 7? I thought he was on 7. Rodrigo, was he on 6?
He's on 6, but the Wolves, I think, are the lowest scoring side in the league. I don't have the number at the moment. I think it's 8, 9, 10. It's not very many.
So
I know Harry Kane scored more than them,
so that's quite telling, isn't it? He's scored almost as many goals as Wolves have combined. But yeah, Costa, I'm pretty sure, Steve, a couple of people have mentioned it. I think Costa is out of this game. So who knows who plays up top for Wolves tomorrow?
I think Wolves are missing 6 to 8 first-team players anyway, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because I think Costa got the red card in the league, but it would be in the League Cup. I think the red cards, one of the games is in the League Cup where it counts. I think so anyway. I mean, it's the League Cup. I mean, who really cares about that? Who cares about? I would honestly get rid of the League Cup tomorrow. I don't know why we have to have 2 cup competitions, but obviously I'll change my tune if we win it. I'll totally change my tune then. It becomes better than the Champions League if we win it. But
Yes.
yeah, I mean, Mike, I mean, are you expecting anything particularly special tomorrow? I mean, it's hard to get excited about this game. I'm not going to lie. It's a cup game. It's right in the middle of a bit of momentum we've built. It's against Wolves. It's hard to get too excited about it. Are you expecting anything spectacular? Is there anyone you're particularly looking forward to seeing from the Leeds side of things tomorrow who's got an opportunity to prove themselves?
If Greenwood, Gnotto, Giabi all starts, then maybe them lot. That I would be more pleased about seeing if they put a performance in than for Spurs. Or if there's some like Sonny Perkins maybe, if he starts or even comes off the bench. But I'd like to see that.
Sorry, I lost my mute then. My mute went, I completely lost the button.
I wonder what was going on,
guys. Yeah, I mean, hopefully to see Sonny Perkins. It would be nice to see Sonny Perkins. A big thanks to and hello to Lolo as well. From, of course, on the stoop. I'm not sure what time it is there. I think it'd be like 4 o'clock, 4:15, I think, something like that. Anyway, he's having a good time. He's an Arsenal fan. He's having a very fun time at this moment in time.
And a hardcore Carabao Cup fan, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a funny. I don't know if this is from what I said yesterday when I said that we beat Crewe in the last round. I know we didn't beat Crewe in the last round. I know it was Barnsley. They're playing red. They're in like League One or League Two. Apologies, it was Barnsley we beat in the last round. It wasn't Crewe. Crewe was last season. I think that's a joke from Dave. I think that's a joke. But yeah, it was a bit of a faux pas on my end on the.
I think she's referring to the penalty shootout for the under-21s last week, isn't she?
Again, I've made another cock up, man.
You made another
cock up. Yeah, of course, the penalty shootout 2-1 for Crewe. I mean, I've never seen a penalty shootout finish 2-1. I mean, I hope we don't go to penalties tomorrow because looking at some of the quality of the penalties, not great. I mean,
well, Click scored one in the last round.
Yeah, that's true. We kind of need more than one penalty taker, though, Phil.
Yes, Bamford's good at them.
Yes, definitely. Anyway, I mean, what do you think? Who do you think will start up top tomorrow? Do you think Rodrigo keeps his place or Bamford? I mean, that's another debatable point, really. I mean, we're talking about Jack Harrison having that opportunity to, really build himself back into that first team picture or cement his place in the first team. I mean, Bamford's surely he's under a bit of pressure himself. Mike, I mean, how do you see that one going?
I mean, personally, I'd like to see him start scoring again. I think we all would, but
yeah, we'd all love to see that, mate. I can't lie.
I think it depends. I think it depends on how many youth players he puts in mid and defence, how many rotation he already does, and then if he does a lot, then I'd like to see him keep Rodrigo up top. Personally, a bit of momentum. He's got 3 and 3 already. Just keep him going.
You're on mute, mate.
Every time.
You can tell he doesn't care about the cup at all, can't you?
Yeah.
He's mute himself for the fucking programme, honestly.
There we go. Right, sorry about that. I keep losing the mute button. It's like it keeps scrolling away from me. Sorry about that, guys. I mean, let's get some predictions in then. I think 2-1 Leeds. I think a very similar game to the start of this season. Wolves probably might score first, might start quite well. Obviously home crowds and that lot. I fancy us to turn it round. I think we've got the options now. Even if we don't start a full strength team, we've got the options to come off the bench as well. I'll go 2-1 Leeds. Mike?
Yeah, it's going to be a scrappy game. 1-0, 2-1. Like I've stated so many times, week in, week out, Wolves can't score. They're not going to get 3 goals this season, I don't think. So even if they scored 2, I think we could still outscore them. So I think we'll win it, but it's just depending on how many.
Okay, I'll take that. How many? That's confidence. That is confidence, to be fair. I didn't think this season would be saying how many we'll win by, but I don't know. Phil, are you feeling that confident?
I'll be honest, I'm feeling confident that we should win the game. I think in terms of momentum, yeah, we're on a good run of form, and I was about to say exactly the same. I think, in terms of momentum, perhaps this is exactly the time to throw Patrick Bamford in and try and get him that goal, because risking him in the league at the moment was something that was a massive drain in that 8-game run. Get him on, get him a goal, and like Mike said, I think you've both gone for the 2 scores. I would have gone for either a 1-0 or a 2-1. I don't see them scoring very many goals, but whatever they do score, I do kind of see us outscoring them regardless. And like you said, Oscar, I can see us going behind, but that hasn't served Wolves against us that well in recent years. And obviously on the run of form we're on in the last 2 league games in terms of going behind and coming back from that Bournemouth game from 3-1 down to win it 4-3, you'd put money on us to come back and win the game if we did go 1-0 down. So yeah, I think either a 1-0 or a 2-1 to Leeds, and steady little cup run. Let's hope we get like Man United at home in the next round as well.
Another easy win.
The only thing I can say about it is, if we do win tomorrow, psychologically it's quite a big boost. I mean, it's we've had that record against teams around us or below us and not being able to beat them. I know it's obviously only a cup competition, but it's a little bit of a psychological boost. And also for Wolves, the fact that Wolves' only wins this season again have come against Southampton, Nottingham Forest, for them, if they did beat us psychologically for them, it's quite a big boost, the fact they're beating a team around us. So, around them rather. So I do feel there's a bit of a psychological thing about it when you play a team who's around you in the table and kind of fighting for the same thing, which at this moment in time is survival. Obviously, I think there's a factor that Julian Lopetegui looks like is getting a job on the 14th of November after this next round of fixtures in the Premier League. So I think there might be a little bit of that about it. They want to put in a good performance. Effectively, they've got another pre-season coming up. They want to prove themselves to the new manager. And so there'll be a little bit of that. I think obviously Wolves, I know they got beat by Brighton, but they were down to 10 men for most of the game or large parts of the game. So they did okay considering that. So I think Wolves will still be okay come the end of the season. I think they have got a lot of quality in that team still. But this might be quite a good time to play in the cup. We'll see. But any other thoughts? Going into this one? I mean, this is a super short big match preview, but there's not a lot to really discuss other than how seriously will we take it.
Who do you want in the next round?
Well, no, we need to win. This is Leeds in the cup, Phil. We lost to Crawley. Sutton.
Different cup, mate. That one matters. This one doesn't.
What's more important, the Carling Cup or the FA Cup?
Well, FA Cup, obviously. Apart from whichever one we get further in is the more important one.
What would you take?
It's not been the Carling Cup for about 20 years as well, Mike. I'm just going to add.
I that as well, to be fair. Well, what's more important, getting to the semi-final of a Carling Cup or a third round win in the FA Cup? Just getting to the 4th round.
How are we discussing? Right, let's talk a little bit. Right, tell you what, we can't keep talking about this. Let's talk a little bit about Saturday then. Saturday, I mean, what were your big talking points from Saturday, Phil?
Well, mate, just 3 points was needed. It was essential. We had to follow up that Liverpool game with a win. For me, I think we need to go all the way through until the World Cup now unbeaten. One way or another, Marsh's job is safe now, I think, until after the World Cup. I don't think he gets sacked in the World Cup break at all either. I think those 2 results will be justification enough for the board to keep him. It might not necessarily be justification enough for us, everyone else, but he needed those results. The performance, you can commend the second half performance probably in both games, but there's still fucking massive problems defensively, of course, from that first 55 minutes against Bournemouth. We shouldn't be in that position to need to come back from 3-1 down against a team like that, I don't think, in all honesty. We're only ever a few goals or a few seconds away from seemingly Alan Road going toxic at the moment, so that's got to change. A cup run is a good way to do that. Not losing to Spurs at the weekend is a good way to do that. If we go into the World Cup break off the back of a 3-game unbeaten run in the league, and we progressed into the next round of the Carling, Carabao, whatever cup you want to call it, that's something that at least really bookends that 8-game run, which was really fucking depressing to live through. And he has started to look like a strained man over the last few games, Jesse Marsh. He hasn't looked anywhere near as calm and collected as he did even towards the back end of last season. He has looked under severe pressure in the last few games, and that didn't change regardless of whether we got 3 points or not on Saturday. So win tomorrow night by hook or by crook, doesn't really matter how, and ideally avoid defeat at the weekend. A draw at Tottenham would be a fantastic result. If you can get through to the World Cup like that, I'd imagine he comes back from the World Cup with 5-6 weeks of training these players under his belt again and go again against Man City.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and yeah, that's a great game to come back into. But just before we finish, Phil, out of interest, obviously the player ratings from last week got heavy criticism of your player ratings. Just out of interest, what would you have given Willie Gnonto out of 10 for his performance on Saturday?
I'll be honest, mate. I was, as you know, I was away. So I watched the game, but on my phone, so I couldn't do my ratings of 0.5s up and 0.5s down when people did things right.
Give us a rating. Just give us a rating.
I haven't done one. But I'd struggle to go below 7.5. It'd have to be 7.5.
But no, you're not being serious. 7.5. I don't know why I asked that, because I've kind of thought to that. Whatever he says, if he goes below 8, it's going to annoy.
Well, don't forget that the highest I went against Liverpool was a 7.5.
Yes, and the comment section didn't like it, Phil. Really didn't like it. That's putting it lightly. Crescencio Somerville. What would you give Crescencio Somerville?
What? Both of them off the bench. It's hard to say that either of them did anything wrong. So realistically, the way that I do it is I add 0.5 on for every good thing they do. They probably both would have ended up on more than a 7.5. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought the second half performance from those young players in particular was better than the performance over 90 minutes from a Somerville against Liverpool, as daft as you might think that is.
No, that's fair. I mean, they carried us on Saturday. I mean, Melia carried us against Liverpool. But Mike, I mean, anything else that's kind of stood out to you in the last couple of weeks?
The defence against the top 6 side compared to teams in and around us is like polar opposites. Like, we defend so well against the top 6 side, so Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, and then we go to Bournemouth, concede 3 goals countless number of times. We're just too open. We push both our fullbacks forward, everyone's forward, and they just bam, that's it. Regardless of whether or not they score or not, they look like scoring every single time they went ahead. They could have been 4 or 5 up at half time.
I think they only had like 3 or 4 actual forays forward and scored every fucking time.
Literally.
It is what it is. I mean, I do prefer entertaining, high-scoring games to like 1-0s and that lot. I'll be honest. I know it's it's less stressful at 1-0, but I do prefer entertainment. That's a positive I'll take. But I'm just
fully
to answer this one,
by a 3-0.
Just to answer this one, the lowest mark I've ever given, I'm not sure.
This is a balancing of the scales question.
I'm pretty confident Kiko Casilla will be in the conversation somewhere along the way. Llorente against Brentford is a shout, to be fair, where I just left Phil to have the biggest rant. Probably the top 5 biggest rants I've ever seen on All East TV about Llorente.
You didn't even publish mine about Rodrigo in the summer.
No, I didn't actually. I'm glad I didn't now, because Rodrigo's he's scoring goals now. So if I hadn't have done that, who knows? Who knows? To be fair,
yeah, I think I was the only one to say keep Rodrigo.
Anyway, Jesse's cup record is good. This is a very, very good point of Alison Adams. He has got a good cup record with Salzburg and Leipzig. Won a couple of cup competitions with Salzburg as well. Yes, I know it's the Austrian league and all this lot, but he's still got that cup winning pedigree. So
100% with us as well, mate.
yeah, technically 100% win records with Leeds United.
It is Barnsley.
Argue with it all you want. The record books say he has a 100% cup winning win percentage, or whatever it is. Anyway, I think we're going to leave it there anyway, guys. Big thanks for watching. Big thanks to Mike. Big thanks to Phil, as always. Obviously, check out our post-match content. Check out the opposition preview as well that I did with Dave from Talking Wolves. And, of course, check out the Crescencio of Somerville signed shirt competition as well. Fantastic prize and offer there as well. If you are quick, you can get the early bird price too. So do check it out. Link is in the description down below. And check out football prizes while you're there as well. Plenty of other top competitions. We will leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you later.